Well, I can answer that for the president. It's for him. I'd
rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer. It will be.
Our president will respond to you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. President.
It will take President Trump listening to the voices of South Africans, some of whom are his good friends, like those who are here. When we have talks between us on around the quiet table, it will take President Trump to listen to them. I'm not going to be repeating what I've been saying. I would say if there was Afrikaner farmer genocide, I can bet you these three gentlemen would not be here, including my Minister of Agriculture. He would not be with me.
Influence, move with a practice grin, shaking hands with the lights that dim. The White House walls heard his claim to fame, but the shadows whispered a different name. Oh, am I false? So what's the cost? Truth uncovered, bridges crossed. You played the game but lost your way. Now the world sees the price you pay. Pretending blind to the cries at home, while the streets of SA ache and moan. Right, the man with the golden hue, but the deal fell flat and the lies broke through. Oh, am I fool? So what's the cost? Truth uncovered, bridges crossed. You played the game but lost your way. Now the world sees the price you pay. Closed doors, the mask came off. No suits, no ties, just shadows aloft. The past screams loud from a buried ground. Now the silence breaks with a deafening sound. Oh, am I false? So what's the cost? Truth uncovered, bridges crossed. You played the game but lost your way. Now the world sees the price you pay. What's the cost? Truth uncovered, bridges crossed. The horrors rise from a nation torn. Whispers turn to cries of scorn. History's weight won't stay concealed. Every wound must one day heal. Oh, am I false? So what's the cost? Truth uncovered, bridges crossed. You played the game but lost your way. Now the world sees the price you pay. What's the cost? Truth uncovered, bridges crossed. You pay.
And they're doing precisely what we said we as South Africans should not do. We should stop running to other countries. We should discuss our own problems here.
Money stuffed in my sofa, a treasure untold.
nothing's as it seems. Game of chance or a clever scheme, hidden fortune stitched in the seam. You'll never know till you're caught in the stream. Palo, palo, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Palo, palo, don't give it away. Rainy day, rainy day. Palo, palo, where the secrets play. Under the cushions, the cash will stay. Palo, palo, don't give it away. Rainy day, rainy day. Hey.
Marvin Devine. I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Wednesday, August 6, 2025. Welcome back to the program. Folks, you're here. You found it. Moderators, please be alert that my video last night apparently gave chest pains to black supremacists and racists who decided to comment on it. Just a day or two ago, we were chasing away white racists. There aren't many of them. There are some, but there aren't many black racists either, fortunately. But they seem to glom on. So be aware and be prepared for the black racists and black supremacists who promote the slaughter of minorities. They've already appeared in the chat. Gave one of them a timeout earlier on here. So anyway, just a heads up on that. We don't tolerate racism and bigotry on this channel. If you think that's your cup of tea, you're watching the wrong program, and I suggest you go elsewhere. All right? Whether you're white, you're brown, or you're black. God created us all in his own image. Some of us better looking than others, but in his own image. And that's life. If we were different races, you couldn't thrust a few times and reproduce. So get over yourselves, you bigots and you racist. Footsec, take it on the arches, hit the road. Welcome to all the Neanderthals over on this side, the canines in the middle, and the right-wing podcasters, as well as all of the aspiring car guards. Hey, Shelly, are you there? I know you're there. Go ahead and push your dislike on the video. Keep slandering me. You know, that's actionable, and I'd recommend you stop it. I've seen more and more screenshots of the lies you've spewed at me for months in your effort to prop up your bona fides because you're a nobody. Okay? So my suggestion is knock it off. Just don't talk about me. If you're so effective and so correct in your information, then you don't need to worry about it. Funny thing is that not a single freaking person is coming over here based on your bullshit advice and lies. Yet hundreds of South Africans have relocated to South Africa as a consequence of the refugee program. And contrary to the propaganda being spread to those refugees, my information's been spot on. So Shelley, take that and put it in your hat. Oh, by the way, don't sit in the corner and cry with your baked cookies because you get picked on because you're a lady. No one's picking on you. You're libeling and slandering me. Stop it. Got the message? If you don't get the message, well, we may have to resort to more serious exposure of your fraud. All right? There you go. All right, let's get to it, folks. Welcome back to the program. 457 here at the moment. That's a little slow for a Wednesday. 495. Okay, that's better. Okay, thank you, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed that. That was Pala Pala. We had to change the phonetic spelling so we got the correct pronunciation on the song. But Pala Pala, where the money stays. Keep it in the cushions. That's right. Hide my money in the cushions. Yeah, here. Well, this is for the. Here you go. Here you go. So for those who a little excited about all this, here you go. We got a blood pressure cuff for you here, which you need to use that. Here you go. Here you go. All right, there you go. All right, just put that right on. Put that on your arm. Put that on your arm and see how it goes. All right. All right. Yeah. So we got it for those of you whose blood pressure is spiking. Anyway, welcome back, folks. It's a Wednesday, midweek. It's hump day. I don't like that phrase, hump day. It sounds a little too salacious. Hump day. Anyway. I've been able to find work in 4 months, so I might become a car guard. Sorry to hear that, Ibrahim. Yikes. Pala pala ya under the mattress. That's right, Blixum. I don't know if it works. I haven't tried it yet. I'm afraid to try it, John. Mainstream bias, racist, other media is doing more harm than good. Typical incident during the July unrest where one community, predominantly black, came to loot. Well, the whole harm they did over Phoenix, the lies they spread there. Yep. Ron Post doesn't hide his own money in the cushions. He hides our money there. I don't know whose money it was, but yeah. Yeah, your blood pressure must be rocking right now. Okay, sorry to hear that, Veroshka. How's it going? Peter Zurcher says, absolutely, Colonel Chris, no point in being racist. That's why people are the way they are, and the world doesn't need racists. Exactly. We've already spotted one in the chat. I wonder if they're bots at times, you know? You have to wonder that. Johan, welcome to you. Vanna Duplessis, thank you for the 70 Rand super sticker to get us started. Ouch, that was right in my ear. Julio Frederick, what's going on? Candace. Time for the news, the truth. Rampies. Okay, thank you, Blixen. All right, so that's where I told people to be on the lookout. So just be on the watch for it, folks. We don't tolerate that nonsense here. Okay, I have not pulled much news together from the U.S. I have focused on South Africa today, but I can get some of the U.S. news here. Probably do that when we have a musical interlude here in a little bit. God never makes mistakes, so the question remains as to who created the stupid. People, Brendan. People created the stupid. People did it. So, I mean, look at it this way. Children are not born racist. They're not. They're born with certain immutable factors like their skin pigmentation, their eye color, their hair, whether they go bald or not, how many eggs they have to reproduce, whether they're stale or not, how much sperm count they have. All of those things are things that are built into their deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, and they have no control over it. Babies do not come out as bigots or racist. They're taught bigotry and racism by bigots and racists. They're all the same when they come out. Yep. It is programmed down. That's exactly right. Exactly right. What's a congrats for? Teresa Mustard, thank you for the 14 Rand super sticker. Allison Johnson, thank you for becoming a member. And you've been one for a while. Thank you, Allison. Yes, Fikile. So I just did a video on Fikile Mabalula, and that's probably going to trigger the black supremacist. Yep. Just like when I say that Kissinger isn't the reason that apartheid ended, and some white supremacists get angry at me. Such is life. People need to get over themselves. All right, that video is out there now with some sudden temperature drop. Sorry to hear that, Corey. Must be cold. World's oldest baby is 31 years old. It could be. Kids' CDs only get written from about 16, and the rest is mom and dad's fault. Yep. Always brought my daughter up to see a person and behavior, not to go, yeah, I think that... No, he released a video on a different thing about Fikile Mabalula, not about what I covered. I saw the title of his video. It's not what I covered. He couldn't possibly have released a video about what I'm covering because I covered the press conference, and my video came out... Anyway, whatever. When I'm making criminals playing victims, which is healed by... Yeah, exactly. There must be corruption in the Rand dollars. I thought it would be through... No, it's not going to be through... It won't be for a while. There's corruption in the currency markets. That's for darn sure. For darn sure. We know that. Yeah, Louis, I don't know. Ronaldo's title is different than mine. Mine's focused on what he said. I had to cover just mostly the U.S. I didn't talk about what he said about the DA for the most part. I didn't talk about the allegations against ANC member for 800 million Rand in corruption tender who just got suspended. I didn't cover a lot of things. There's just too many things to cover. I only covered part of it. But it took me a good 2 hours to prepare that video, so hopefully it's worth watching. Yes, Caustic Chameleon, I'm aware of that, the oldest frozen embryo. I'm well aware of that. I wonder if they'll use mine from 1983. In a German kindergarten in Kornwestheim, we had black kids, no racism against them. Kornvestheim. Ugh, not the best place to be. Kornvestheim. Yep. Yep. Once again, NC displays arrogance and prove they do not have the interest of South Africa's heart. Those sanctions need to happen. Says Garth Peters. Yeah, well, we'll see. A person got a job. Okay, I don't know who that was. TJ Quagga. Quagga's extinct. He's not afraid of sanctions. They won't do away with BE as they don't give in the USA. Well, they will go down in flames. The ANC is welcome to be stupid and go down in flames. And folks, after this, you'll be directed to the Wednesdays with the Colonel with Ronaldo Jos. We'll be doing that after this. Allison just gave 5 memberships. Thank you. She gave 5 earlier, too, I think, or 10 earlier. Let me see. Don't want to bring sanctions in, so I'm just going to fix something here very quickly. Customization. Redirect. Oh, that's loud. There it is. Speaking of racism, we got a story talking about racism today, directed once again against South Africa's colored minority community. Once again, more racism. The Democratic Alliance has jumped into it. I'm really confused about the podcast because it talks about their inaugural podcast, but the channel's been, and they said it's a new channel. The channel's been around for 5 years. They may have just started producing videos, but I know we're going to talk about the open podcast a little bit here. Oh, Ave got a job. Okay, congratulations. Ave Borga, congratulations. Didn't see that. Okay. Anil Sumaraj, please check Trump is making decisions based on emotions. 50% of India buying Russian oil, but EU is allowed. EU is not buying Russian oil. They're also no longer buying Russian gas. Trump is making decisions based on emotions. No, he's not. He's making decisions based on prudence. India, there's many other issues. India is undermining the financial sector. India is abusing the H-1B visa system. Of course, we're letting that happen. So, no. India has all kinds of unfair trade practices. And India has been given lots of rope, and it's hanging itself. 50% is steep, but anyway, Modi has pissed in the well, and now it's not going well for him. It's unfortunate because the relationship between India and the U.S. had been pretty good. Bush improved that relationship, and it had gotten better and better. Despite Obama and Biden, it got better and better. We've given India nuclear technology for their power systems, and this is how they behave. But I don't blame India for getting cheap oil from Russia because it's subsidized. It's dirt cheap. All these boggles my mind why people fight nasty each other and all that goes just because the pigment. Well, Ingrid, it also boggles my mind while spinsters sit around and lie in Facebook groups of 7,500 people and distort things, and then, no bona fides whatsoever, and then claims to be an expert. I've got screen captures where this troll claims to be an expert on immigration, not an expert in immigration, no experience, not a lawyer, not an advocate, not an NGO. She had an NGO, it's no longer registered, no board of directors, she was the only person on the board. Just total fraud. Anyway, total nonsense, lying about everything, and then attacks me. Not a very smart approach. I mean, go out there and show me where I'm wrong. See, she doesn't. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that idiot. That's enough of that. I made a video last night and then didn't load it. Do you guys want to see that video? Should I play that video? I didn't play it last night. I never played it. In my time, more beneficial. They support a Lions Club to set up. Oh, Lions Club, cool. Vikele wanted to be a car guard, but the minimum requirement was 50%. He is an ANC billboard for dumb, is what you're saying. DJ Quagga. Oh, there's a DJ Quagga. Okay, thank you for the 70 Rand, man. Thank you for that. Okay, what's going to happen to Arcadi with this terrifying? It's not going to go well, Nadine. It's already not gone well. I've already talked about this. Berna, a non-lethal firearms manufacturer who produces firearms so you can shoot people, not kill them. They were producing their ammunition in South Africa. On March 13th, they announced that they had shut down their ammunition plant in South Africa because of what they thought would be coming tariffs. Trump didn't even announce his reciprocal tariffs until April 3rd, and Berna leadership in a forward-thinking company saw this coming on the horizon. And so Berna went ahead and stopped making their ammunition in South Africa and started making it in Indiana, near their headquarters. They used to produce only 32% of the components and ammunition that was used for their firearms. Now they produced 92% in less than a year. They read the tea leaves perfectly clear last year and realized that things were going to turn against importing, and domestic production matters. So now almost the entire firearm and all their ammunition is produced in the United States. They still produce a few things like launchers in South Africa, but jobs were lost in March, gone. We saw a few years ago that I think of drinks here. Oh, geez, I've got a senior moment here. I'm trying to think of the beer, the Irish beer, Guinness. Guinness decided not to expand in South Africa. We also saw Toyota not expand their operations in South Africa. Heineken decided not to produce another plant in South Africa. All these are boding very poorly. The only things that have really picked up any effort in South Africa when it comes to foreign direct investment have been things that require very little capital and can be easily relocated, like, IT and digital things like Google and Microsoft committed to making data centers, which you can unpack that stuff, load it on a plane, and fly it out overnight. And so you don't need South Africa. Those things can be moved when false land claims arise and things like that. 31 years in power, they're screwing this country and doing a hood job. Yeah, they are. Absolutely, Pat Murray. But the economy's not going to go well. It's already in trouble. We already saw, 750 million rand in contracts canceled for a automotive equipment manufacturer in Port Elizabeth. Yeah, we saw that the number of cars exported with just a 25% tariff, which is now 30% for automobiles for South Africa, from April, most recent quarter, went from 9,700 motor vehicles shipped to the U.S. last year to just 1,100 this year. Yet the black supremacists and racists who want to come and attack my channel, and some of the right-wing white racists, there's a few of them out there, also attacking my channel, saying that this is not going to affect South Africa, it has no impact. You people are delusional. You're absolutely delusional if you actually believe that. You really need to dig your head out of the sand. It's not, or out of your fourth point of contact, wherever it's at, because this is not good. Oh, we'll just diversify. If the United States was 30% of your trade, your exports, then you would have to diversify. If the United States was half of your trade, but the United States represents just 6% of South Africa's exports. But that's a very important 6%. But 6%. So you can diversify all you want. All you can do is diversify 6% of your trade. But you're not going to find ready-made markets that are going to buy your cars. You're not going to find ready-made markets that absorb all your agricultural products. China already has a 30 and 40% tariff against your agricultural products. So much for BRICS. Fort Stewart. Oh, my goodness. Okay, hang on. Well, why are you going to leave Costa Chameleon? I'll go look at it. Active shooter. Active shooter, Fort Stewart. There's no information about an active shooter situation in Fort Stewart. The search results include a recent incident at Fort Eisenhower, formerly known as Fort Gordon, involving a love triangle fatal shooting. Okay, well, let's see what the active shooter is. At 11:47, Fort Stewart story was published. Placed a lockdown due to active shooter incident. Fort Stewart's located, it's near Savannah. Yeah, I know where Fort Stewart is. Okay, home to the third ID. Fort Stewart's lockdown status to an active shooter incident in the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team area. The installation was locked down 11:04. Law enforcement is on the scene, according to Facebook post 11:44. Casualties have been reported. Situation is ongoing. All gates that post were locked down 11:39, long after this thing got started.
Or look at your name and think of something.
Okay, there's nothing there. It's a statement. There's no news there. Confirmed at Fort Stewart. A portion of Fort Stewart is on lockdown, and those in the 2nd Brigade area are told to stay inside. They put the post in lockdown around 11 a.m. Developing story, nothing additional there. Let's go to Twitter and see if I can find something on Twitter. Fort Stewart. Third Infantry Division, the commanders issued a lockdown for the 2nd Armored Brigade Combat Team area in place. Fort Stewart, including Wright and Evans Army Airfield. Lockdown immediately, stay inside, close doors, lock all windows, report accountability to your leadership, monitor media outlets for more. Interesting. Yeah, there's no video on this, just the same alerts. Lots of people putting alerts out there. All right, it's an active shooter taking place there. Vera, Nkabisi Jonas advises your president. Yeah. Mabalula is qualified to be a car guard. He would have become one. True. True. Art Queen Liza, what's going on? I saw a video where President Trump was on the White House roof. Yeah, that was pretty cool. and there's two things at play here. You notice the media are much friendlier to Trump. Now, that might be because they're finally wearing down and Trump is just too entertaining and so many things are good. They have nothing to lie about. It could also be a consequence that Trump isn't letting anything traditional media around him. He's pushed a lot of them to the curb. They got the message. I don't know what the case is, but the media are fawning over Trump now. Mr. President, what are you doing on the roof? Going for a walk. Why? It's a healthy thing to do. Trump is trolling him. Trump is trolling him, man. Where is Fort Stewart? It's in Georgia. Hinesville, Georgia. Oh, my goodness. University running to China or India or Russia who all want as many dollars possible, not miserable, valuable, useless rands. Exactly. Colonel, did you see the memes about the Trump roof? I have not seen any memes about it. Mark Myberg says car industry is subsidized. Close it. Rand 370 is cheaper. Rand 370. What is that? Denmark was against apartheid, but they support Hamas. Yeah. Well, it's funny because you know what the two-state solution is, folks? Do you know what the two-state solution is? Effectively, it's apartheid. That's what a two-state solution is. So the ANC is arguing for a two-state solution. It's apartheid. It's separate development. That's what it is. Oh, it's not. Is it 370 already, Mark? Wow. Didn't know it was up 370. It was 323 before. He must have raised it. What are your views on mandatory mental health screening for weapons licensing in states similar to what they've done in the UK? Some cases require doctor sign off. I don't agree with it, Jaya. I don't agree with it. Because it's a tool and a weapon used against legitimate people who are not a threat to anyone. Just like the red flag laws. So with a red flag law, I can say my neighbor is a threat. He made a menacing comment. No one has to see it. They will come. Now, we don't have red flag laws here, but in states that have it, they will come. They will arrest him and confiscate his firearms. They'll take them, put him in a police station, neglect them, let them rust. He has to prove that he's not a threat. How much money is that going to cost him? How long is he going to be unarmed and be without his firearms that he needs just because he has an angry neighbor? Yeah, no, that's a slippery slope. Very slippery slope. Hello from Durban, Helen Troy. ANC and EFF both want to move back to tribalism. They're already in tribalism. That's what this is all about. Lucille Pasos, welcome to you. Welcome to you. Matis Bakar. Okay. Fikile is saying white people with privilege, now that white males still run the economy. He is a dimwit. He is a dimwit. Yeah, white males run the economy. Really? Then why isn't it doing well? When white males ran the economy, despite sanctions, it did well. When do we start relying on word of mouth to take legal action? Exactly, Freya. Exactly. That's what red flag laws do. I did not see your comment earlier, Mark Myberg, about Jonas. John Jarvis is back. U.S. is getting a little Gaza fatigue, and so much is. I think everybody's getting Gaza fatigue, John. I have Gaza fatigue. I've had enough of it. Again, I would have approached this very differently. Never would have gone into Gaza in the way that the Israelis did. And I said it from the outset. I would have used special forces. That's what I would have used. And I would have gone after leadership. Tucker Carlson's dad was in the CIA. So what? That's not Tucker Carlson. I mean, okay, great. My favorite color is purple, Google. That's about as relevant as your comment about Tucker Carlson's father being in the CIA. We're not talking about Tucker Carlson. Google R is trolling. Anyway, good evening, Chris Krieger. Why are we still paying him? I don't know. Why are you paying Kabisi Jonas? Because it's catered deployment. It's patronage. That's why. Thank you for the video, Chris. May God bless you. Which one is that, Nas? The one I just did on Fikele? Yeah, Fon says so as I ask Scotty Balls out. Yeah. Debbie Fox, 700 Rand Super Chat. Woohoo! Thank you for that one. That's kind of handy. Boy, that picks up the spirits all of a sudden. Birth month. Huh? What's for the birth month? Derek Grinig, welcome to you. Paul, welcome back, Paul, our newest moderator. Tau Ops. Winning on it. What is this? What is this? I didn't see that. Gray Man. Oh, you guys are chatting with each other. Dylan Warren, welcome to you. Anyone noticing people aren't spending really money this week? I think it's because of tariffs. Yeah, I don't know why though, folks. Unless they're concerned they're going to lose their job, I get that. But not spending money because of tariffs, the prices aren't higher unless you're being gouged by retailers. The prices haven't changed for South Africans. The things imported to South Africa haven't gone up as a consequence of tariffs. The tariffs start getting charged tomorrow. The first time that U.S. Customs Immigration takes the money is tomorrow, the 7th of August, and it will be 30% from things imported into the U.S. So I will have to pay more for things like Amarillo or BMW X3s, except we're not buying those anymore, and I can't afford one anyway. So it doesn't affect South Africans, it could cost them their job. Please advise how come the International Bank keeps loading South African money. What, you mean the World Bank? Is that what you're talking about? Or the International Monetary Fund? I think you're mixing two different things. I don't understand why they gave the money either. The United States has the most voting power in the IMF and the World Bank, both of which are headquartered in Washington, D.C., just down the street from the White House, both of them. And I don't know why we tolerate giving the ANC another $1.5 billion. And so Fikile Mabalula completely overlooks that. I don't... It's Iran. Well, Iran isn't stable. It's a house of cards. And when it collapses, it will collapse big. Besides being incompetent, corrupted, and greedy, the NC are also arrogant, uneducated, and don't realize what traffic or sanctions will affect. Yeah, you're right about that, Pat. Any idea if the report on the U.S. assessment has been released yet? No, Mr. Migo, I don't know. I don't even know if there is a report. Although I suspect in my analysis is there will be a report, but I haven't seen one. Okay? I'm just double checking on something here very quickly because I'm waiting for feedback from the U.S. government about something. Hang on. No, don't have anything back yet. Okay. Okay, just checking. And people are sending me WhatsApp now while I'm online. Most privileged in South Africa today are the unemployed. They laugh without being taxed. Well, that's an interesting point. Beef in South Africa has rocketed. Well, why? You're not importing beef from the U.S., and if you are, it hasn't gone up in price, at least from the supplier. But beef has skyrocketed in America, so maybe it's a global phenomenon. Heard this morning the petrol price went down. Yes, it went down, but diesel went up. That is correct. Cyril's such a hypocritical, whines about how people shouldn't run overseas when he sends... Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people shouldn't go overseas, but where does he send 6 ministers and a deputy minister and the deputy president to China for a 7-day holiday when the tariffs are just 10 days away? They're in China. Yeah. Yep. They run to Russia. Paul Mashatile goes to Moscow. But, the DA shouldn't run abroad and talk to governments. Yeah. Appears you never revoked my moderator status after Ascension. Oh, sorry about that, Gabrielle. Thank you. Appreciate you reminding me of that. Thank you very much, Gabrielle. It's very kind of you to be straightforward. I would have noticed it later on. I'd have been like, how'd that guy get a moderator status? Weekend at Bernie's. Beef is expensive due to foot and mouth disease. Yeah, that's right. You've got that problem in South Africa, too. Oh, Johnny Boy is on the scene for that. John Steenhuisen, your Minister of Agriculture, is on the scene. According to cattle farmers, he's doing a piss poor job. I've talked to several farmers in South Africa, all of whom are complaining about what's been going on. The fact that before him, the ANC they sold off their vaccine to Botswana, and now his ineptitude, that's their words, not mine, is causing this thing to be worse than it should be. How does the IMF recoup their loans if a country is unable? They don't. They don't, Nikki. We simply forgive them all the time. They just forgive them. That's what happens. Or they refinance it. They borrow more money on top of the money they borrowed at a lower rate, and we eat the cost. U.S. taxpayers, European taxpayers, Japanese, those who put money into the World Bank and IMF, we eat the cost of it. Ben von Niekerk, thank you for subscribing. That's how it works. That's how the system works. It's corrupt as all get out. And it's been like that for decades. We hear whining from developing countries. Debt crisis. You borrow money with the promise to pay it back, taking money out of our pockets. You don't pay it back. And if they do pay it back, it's downgraded, it's devalued, it's lowered, and you pay back in future dollars worth far less than you borrowed. And then we hear whining about racism, systemic racism, the system is rigged. No, the system is rigged in favor of developing economies. Yeah, there. No one ever says that. It's rigged in favor of developing economies. For 25 years, African countries had the opportunity to ship their goods and services into the U.S. duty-free. Duty-free. We didn't get the same treatment sending our goods there. Colonel, do you know what it cost American import a BMW from South Africa versus other countries before and now? I haven't done the math, Anton, excuse me. I did it before, and I compared the cost of what it was before, and I just threw a 32% on top of that, so I don't know what it is now. I haven't looked at But you're not competitive. First off, the European Union is only getting a 15% tariff on their cars, lowered from 25%, which it was in April. They get a 15%. So Germany and Italy, who ship cars to America, will only be paying, well, Sweden. The Chinese manufacturer Volvo is still in Sweden. So those cars come over here. It'll be 15%. Yours is 30%, so it's double. But do you think the people are going to take it sitting down while they make all property go private? Well, that's never going to pass, Corey. That'll never pass. The short that I made, that's never going to pass. Unless the ANC decides that they're really angry and petulant, and they act like petulant children, and they actually vote for it. But no, the MK party only has 57 votes. They can get the African Transformation Movement. There's a vote there. They might get the EFF to vote with them. That's another 39. That's still over 100 votes short to make it just a law, but it can't be a law. It has to be an amendment to the Constitution. And I think you need 2/3 majority or 3/4. I'm not sure. I have to go back and look. It's been a while since I looked at what it takes to do amendment to the Constitution. You need 2/3. I think it's 2/3 in South Africa to make it a constitutional change. So not going to happen. Not going to happen. If you have the ANC, the EFF, the MK put all their votes together, that's not going to be 2/3. So 2/3 of 400 is what? 240? Something like that? No, it's more than that. 270? Let me see. 260. 400 times 0.67. 268. Yeah, it's 268. You need 268 votes in Parliament. So minus the ANC's 159. That's 109. Minus 57 from MK means you need 52. Minus 39 from the EFF. That means you still need 13 votes. Minus 1 from the ATN. African Transformation, that means 12 votes. They'd still be 12 votes shy, even if all the stars align. It won't happen. It's not going to happen. Yes, that's right. John Steenhuisen is a white agricultural minister. We heard that from Cyril Ramaphosa. Have you met my white agricultural minister? Notice how the media is still not talking about that. I heard a news interview on YouTube a couple of days ago that Iran is putting a bid for a town hall. That's true. I've talked about that. They want to buy the town hall, which is his heritage site. And the ANC is just going to sell off the heritage because heritage of white, colored, and Indians doesn't matter to the ANC because that's not heritage for them. History starts with their arrival at the Limpopo and Zambezi rivers. The Zambezi first, then the Limpopo River, about 1,600 years ago, 1,300 when they entered South Africa. So history starts for the ANC 1,300 years ago, and they pretend that that's the beginning of time, as if they've been here all along, ignoring the fact that Khoi and San were already here. Yep. Nationalized land, just wondering who will pay property taxes. Nobody will pay property tax. You don't own land. No one will pay the bank loans back. The banking sector will collapse. Yeah, I don't know that the guy's a general in the SANDF, Marissa Beck. Can you tell me his name and what his position is? No one can. I saw that last week, and I didn't run with the story because it looks just like some MK loser pretending, stolen valor to pretend to be a soldier. I don't know that guy's a general in the SANDF. See, that's the problem. I can't identify him. I don't know who he is. He looks to me like an MK member dressing up playing toy soldier and not a general in the SANDF. If he's a general in the SANDF, he would have already been charged with crimes. What he did was illegal. So it begs credibility here. Your thoughts on who takes power after the ANC? That worries me. 6% of the population still vote for crazy ideas. That's a fair statement, Danielle. 60% vote for crazy ideas. That's a fair statement. Yep. Between MK, EFF, and ANC. Absolutely 100%. And ATM. And Al-Jamaa. I don't know. There's going to be a reckoning in South Africa. That's the bottom line here. And that's scary. Yes, Mark Myberg, I know that. You tariff yourself. That's correct. I've looked at what it costs to buy an automobile in South Africa, and it's 40% more expensive to buy the equivalent vehicle here in the States. That's why when I lived in Botswana, South Africans wanted my Toyota 4Runner. First off, it's not a Fortuner. It's a real Husky, same wheelbase. Thank you, Wesley Trollope, for subscribing. Same wheelbase as a Fortuner at the time, but you had 6 cylinders. I had a V8 with 474 horsepower. Yeah, left-hand drive, automatic transmission. All very appealing things for folks in South Africa. So I was actually offered $50,000 for my Toyota 4Runner in 2010. It was 6 years old, and I was offered $50,000 cash by an Indian businessman in Botswana. And I considered it, $50,000. Hey, I paid $48,000, and I'd already paid it off, so that would have been all money to me. And technically wouldn't have been an income, it would have been just getting back what I got out of it, so I considered it. But the problem was that he had a trip to India, went to India, and was gone for 2 weeks and wasn't there. And so I kept it, and I still have it. Yep. But yeah, you pay a ton more. I paid $48,000 for that truck. If you could even get that truck in South Africa, which you couldn't get, you would have been paying $1.4 million for it easily. But it's like that all over Africa. You know, in Botswana, they illegally only allow people to buy Toyotas from Dada. Dada, the Indian businessman there connected to the BDF. Not the BDF, the BDF, the BDP, the Botswana Democratic Party. That guy was given the sole franchise for Toyotas, and I think he had also for Mercedes. So I know that because when I moved to Botswana in 2008, my 4Runner was just 4 years old. It was due for a service, an oil change, and lubrication, all that stuff. So I went to the Toyota dealership there in Gaborone. I said, "Here's my truck." Guy came back and said, "I can't service it." I said, "Why? You don't have mechanics in service, U.S. made?" "Oh no, that's not the problem." "So what's the problem?" "You didn't buy it from us." I'm like, "Yeah, and?" "Well, you have to buy your vehicles from us or we won't service them." "Why? You're a Toyota dealer. It says authorized Toyota dealership right there. Authorized Toyota maintenance facility. So why won't you service my vehicle?" They refused. So I gave the Toyota dealership under Dada, thank you for the 99 Rand, in Gaborone. I showed them Bob. I found an Indian guy closer to the embassy who did the work, and they did fantastic work. But I wanted to go to Toyota dealership, authorized Toyota dealer, but they wouldn't service me. This is a sort of artificial barriers that governments put in place to keep people from their marketplace. Yep. Jacques Bernard says ANC is long operating global politics on easy mode, propped up by liberation credentials and persistent victim narrative. Yep. Trump's rise shifted the global tone setting to normal. Exactly. The ANC's only their history exists. Exactly. Len Nell, I have a link to share to a Herald article, an interview that was done today at one of my clients where they were covering the possible closure of manufacturing company. Len, I'm going to give you a link there real quick. That's before the super chat. All right, I will give you a moderator status temporarily. Okay, there you go. You have standard moderator status. Please post your link, and then you're going to lose it after that. Thank you. Bye-bye, baby. I haven't seen that. Jacques, saving 99 Rand super chat. This lot that runs South Africa has created a crap show for South Africa. They have. Solution not for these morons and their voters to go their separate ways? Possibly. The breakup of South Africa is also a possibility here too, folks. Yeah, Fortuner on steroids. That's what it was. Yep. Much better than Fortuner. There's nothing wrong with Fortuner, but it just doesn't have the balls. Just doesn't have the balls. That's why you buy a Land Cruiser. Land Cruiser. Man's 4x4. Nah, Steve, too expensive. That's for rich people. They make all these very bad decisions, don't care, because as long as they're in government, they keep getting top security. Exactly. If they wound up being like Becca Chile, living on the outside, they wouldn't be so happy. Freetha, glad I caught a live stream. All the heated anti-white propaganda. I wonder if civil warfare will happen. Well, people are ready for it. Ray says, talking to most South Africans, the DA is going to face its largest losses next year in local elections. This is really concerning. Why am I the only one concerned? Well, first off, thank you, Richard Farmer, for subscribing. First off, Ray Sims, you're not the only one. You must be new to this program. I predicted a long time ago that the DA was going to lose its ass in these elections. A long time ago. And I also predicted that, hang on a second here. It looks like I need to trim my mustache. I also predicted that the DA went into a coalition and came out beaten and submissive as beta boys. And they were going to pay a price for it at the polling station. I said that a year ago. Yep, they are going to be blamed for all of the ills, and the ANC will take credit for whatever it is the DA ministers can actually fix, like Leon Schreiber fixing home affairs. Yeah. What about Botswana, Shireen? We love you, Colonel Wyatt. Definitely want to see you once we're safely. Okay, Asmari. Okay, whoops. Jumped on me there. Sheila said it twice, the same sentence. Jenny Pearson, welcome to you. While watching this, heard some woman at ENCR. Oh, there's the link from The Herald. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, now I'm going to take away your moderator status. I know you won't take that personally. Thank you for sharing the link. Okay. U.S. tariffs deliver crippling blow to Nelson Mandela Bay Industrial Automation Company. Yeah, that's the one I talked about. Unfortunately, I can't read it because I don't have a subscription to the Herald. Or do I? Is that part of the Times Live group? If it does, then I can do it. Let me just look at Times Live and see if that's the case. If the Herald's part of it, I can get to it that way. There it is, the Herald. I thought so. Okay, let me see if I can find it that way. Now I'm in. So I have to sign in, but I'm paying for this, so I shouldn't have to sign in. This is crap. You're already registered on Business Live or Times Live websites. Sign with the same details. Well, okay. Oh, now I got to go look a password up. Give me a second here, folks. Give me a second here. This is annoying. Sounds like somebody's out there with a chainsaw, but it's actually one of those weed eaters. It's annoying. Very annoying. Why can't they do this crap at night? Here we go. Got it. And thank you, Happy Slappy, for the 14 Rand super chat. Appreciate that. Password. Taking a long time to sign in. Okay, now I'm into it. Got it. Okay, cool. I think that's a different company. That's not the one with 750 million. All right, thank you for that. Let me see. Yep. I'm going to talk about this. That'll go well for my video. Then I'm going to talk about the impacts that already happened. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. 90% of all Land Rovers ever made are still on the road. Well, there was a time when I bought my Volvo 31 years ago in which 87 or 89% of all Volvos, not just one model, that were built by Volvo in the entire history of the corporation were still on the road. Now imagine people have accidents, cars get totaled. So keeping 87% of the cars manufactured over 70 years is impressive. I don't know what the story is now. Thank you, Paul. I had some sleep, yes. Did you report? Yes, we talked about the, there's no more information about the active shooter at Fort Gordon. Thank you for asking, Tom. Ford F-250. Yeah, no, F-250 is nice, but I don't have $80,000 sitting around. Shot down when I told my friends that they should vote for the Freedom Front Plus. Well, Shireen, I think people are going to change their mind. A lot of people are going to vote for the Freedom Front Plus next time. Peter says, Sean Newton, I know of a small hope party. Okay, in my opinion, I'm not concerned for the DA losing votes. He already lost mine a long time ago, says Anton. Yep. Life question answer for reporters today. Life? You mean live? Darlene, what are you talking about? Life question answer. You mean live question answer? I don't know what you're talking about. And I have nothing from you, Darlene. Let me reload the page. Maybe it's there now. No. Nothing. I'm looking at my email. I have nothing from you. When did you send it? I'm going to go back to midnight. No, nothing. DA will not get my vote against, says Paul. Yep. FEF 650, never heard of such a thing. I'm voting Freedom Front Plus next election. DA betrayed us. Yeah, a lot of people are, Blixum. A lot of people. Does anyone know where Home Affairs head office is? Because Central PDR office keeps telling me my documents at headquarters. It's in Joburg, isn't it? I don't know. I thought it was in Joburg. It should be in Pretoria, but I don't know. Well, I think the image of Ramaphosa and the DA minister laughing about the lights being dim, talking about farm murders when he came back to South Africa, I think that says it all. It is in Pretoria. That's what I thought should be there. Unimog. Unimog is not a commercial vehicle. Nice try. All right, let's get to it, folks. Fikile Mabalula blames the Democratic Alliance for Trump's tariffs. It's the ANC that's responsible for the tariffs, not the DA. And U.S. threats to sanction ANC leaders. Okay, first off, let's be clear. The United States has not threatened to sanction anybody. See, this is the nonsense. This is people who are stupid, who don't understand politics. The United States has not threatened to sanction anybody. Nope. Trump never made any threat, never even raised the topic. There is a bill introduced into Congress that is going to the floor of the House, which is in recess right now, on vacation. So nothing's happening. There is a constitutional amendment being gazetted in South Africa now to expropriate all property and give it to the government. That's not the law. That's just an act that is before the parliament. So this is just stupid. Blaming the U.S. for sanctions. No one's sanctioning South Africa. No one's threatening sanctions. These are stupid people who know nothing about politics. We will never back imperialists to subvert our democracy or sovereignty. Imperialist. So what kind of dipshit is this guy? I mean, honestly, does he really think that this is going to put him in good stead with the U.S.? I mean, the ANC is intentionally sabotaged. You can't deny that this is not intentional. It's intentional. You say you emailed a live question and answer link for orders for your... No, I don't have an email from you, Darlene. I don't. Yeah, this has to be intentional. There's no two ways about it. It has to be intentional, folks. Volvo's a very safe car. It is, but it's Chinese. You can buy VW Beetles, but the old ones are hard to come by and they cost a lot. And but the newer models they came out with about 25 years ago, you can still get those. Government likes using the word imperialist. Yeah, well, they're just fools. Fikile Mabalula is an idiot. This is beyond stupid. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mabalula suggested the party's GNU partners were the catalyst for the recently implemented punitive tariffs and threats of sanctions. See, this is just gaslighting. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be very clear. Why does South Africa have tariffs? Does anybody know? I'll give you a chance to answer. Why are tariffs being leveled against South Africa? Does anybody know? Here, give me a reason why the U.S. has put tariffs against South Africa's economy. Anybody? Yeah, I know what a Unimog is. Everyone, thank you, Colonel, for all your info on the news feed. You're the only one being truthful and trusted. Thank you. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I'm certainly a consistent one. Yeah, they hear words and know what they mean. They sound nice. High trade deficit, stupid laws. It's not the stupid laws. I thought Volvo was Swedish. It was Swedish, Katie. Volvo was Swedish, and it's Latin for revolution. Turning, like the piston turning up and down. So it was Swedish, but the Chinese bought it out several years ago. So I don't buy Volvos anymore. Unfair trading, says Corey. It's not BE. Darlene, that doesn't help me. I have WMW Chris emails in many servers. Okay, I'm going to look and see. All right, because I think you sent it to the wrong place. That's not the right email, Darlene. Do not send me stuff to WMW Chris emails. That is not an email. That is not an email that I'm answering. And also, there's nothing there from you. You sent it to the wrong one. Yep, you must have sent it to a Google. It's the only thing you need to be sending me on this channel is the All About Africa. I've said that many, many times. I don't have time to be checking 15 email accounts, folks. Last night, I didn't go to bed till 3 o'clock because I sat here and answered people's emails last night. But I didn't go to every one of my email accounts. All right, so you guys got it. Yep, okay. Most of you got it. There it is. Thank you, Alts. That's the email address. You want to send me something, that's the email address, okay? Please don't use any other email address. This is one of the reasons why you're not getting timely communication because people keep using the wrong email addresses. I have said it till I'm blue in the face. Not as blue as this shirt, but blue in the face. The email address is what was just put up there by Alts. So, you were correct. So, Fikile Mabalula is talking about the DA. That's not why there are tariffs in South Africa. Also, the ANC and Mabalula are acting like they're the only country that got tariffs. Like, the tariffs were only applied to South Africa. Except they weren't. Trump applied tariffs on over 80 countries because of unfair trade practices. So, South Africa puts artificial barriers which prevent our pork from being imported to South Africa. Thank you all for your membership. Artificial barriers on pork coming into the country. They, one time, imposed a 75% tariff on our poultry while we were giving you duty-free access to our marketplace. They also put quotas on the number of American cars that can be shipped into South Africa. This is unfair. Not to mention the fraud that goes on with customs and immigration and tariffs. When I shipped $70 worth of stuff to South Africa, which cost me $342 to send or something like that by DHL for 2-day delivery, it was the only way to get it there. Boom. I already paid $300 for $70. Then they demanded customs payment of like $450 for $77 worth of goods. That's like 8 times the value of the goods. They wouldn't release them from customs for a personal shipment. And it wasn't commercial material. This is the reason why South Africa is facing tariffs, because of this fraud. Not because of BE, not because of your policies, not because of Tourism Relief Fund. No, nothing to do with that. That's why the executive order was issued. The executive order has nothing to do with the tariffs. This guy is a dingbat doorknob or an intentional propagandist. This is disinformation that he's sharing with you. Disinformation. Disinformation. That's what it is. It's intentional. It's disinformation, folks. Speaking of media briefing on the outcomes of the party's National Executive Committee, Mabalula accused the DA of political mischief. Yes, he did. You can't, for national interest, say undo BE to appease the U.S. because, among others, this is what the U.S. wants of us. We must do away with certain policies for which, for us, as terms of transformation policy, we're not going to assist us. Mabalula dared the U.S. to impose sanctions on ANC leaders, saying that such threats by U.S. congressional members would not deter the ANC from pursuing its transformation agenda. Even if it means we suffer through sanctions as leaders of the ANC, let it be. We will never back imperialists to subvert our democracy, subvert our sovereignty. We will never forsake our country, which we fought for. Well, first off, lard ass, you didn't fight for anything. You didn't fight. Those people are all old and dead. Fikeni Mabalula didn't fight for anything except his smorgasbord entry, all he can eat buffet. He didn't fight for anything. He didn't fight for anything. What a bunch of nonsense. Yeah. You were out. Can you email me? Sure, you can email me. I'll see if I can get to it. Anna Kruger, thank you for your super sticker. Thought we should open our eyes and see the decay. When we were in Hoodsport Air Force Base, it was a prosperous air base. Yeah, take a look at it now. Take a look at all their bases. The head shaking starts. Yep. He's a dingbat doorknob. Yep. Are you guys having competition to see who gifts the most memberships? I think somebody is. Jenny Sprocket, it's typical ANC never to take blame, always blame someone else. Let's not forget the informal tax bribes you have to go through to ensure the customs process works at speed. It should work. Well, that's what the $450 was for. So thankful and appreciate your comments on my post that no one has not been answered. Love your show. I'm not sure what you're saying, Paul. I try to answer them, but I can't get all of them. DA lost Helen's vote. Yep, the difference between a Volvo and a cactus, the prick is on the inside of the Volvo. There's no democracy. The world sanctioned the National Party into misery. He speaks of sovereignty but wants to hand South Africa to Iran. Who watched the press conference? I didn't watch it because it wasn't available. I did read his comments afterwards, though, and I did a video on it. This is why we voted not to keep apartheid alive, but to prevent this. So now we fight back, and the world is going to call us racist. The world isn't calling you racist. The media are calling you racist. Yep, he's just telling you the ANC will never change. Yep, so that's what's going on. South Africa won't bow to foreign trade pressures. Well, there are no foreign trade pressures. See, I love how they turn this around and play victim. The ANC is the party that is the trade bully. The ANC is the trade bully. They're the ones with the unfair trade practices against the United States. Unfair practices against the United States. Well, I'd be glad to play some music, Tom, but as soon as I play it, 150 people will leave the stream. We're trying to grow the channel, and the more people watching it, the more interaction on the chat, the more people that get notified, the more people show up, the larger the audience. I haven't had a 1,300 viewer audience in like 10 or 12 days. So it matters because we're trying to reach an audience here. But I will play some music shortly, and I know people will leave. Helen, YouTube picks those at random. You have no say over it. Fikeni Mabalula declares ANC members will not sing Kill the Boer. Okay, well, that's progress. Received payment for my latest invoice. Thanks for your efforts. Okay, I'm not sure what that's all about, but thank you for the 35 Rand. Not sure what that's all about. Invoice. I don't know what he's talking about. He said that no member of the ANC would be allowed to sing the controversial Kill the Boer despite a constitutional court ruling that found the song does not constitute hate speech, which is contrary to the 2003 ruling, which said it was hate speech. No member of the ANC today will be allowed to sing Kill the Boer. Simple as that. Even if the Constitutional Court said you can sing, why would we sing Kill the Boer in a democratic dispensation? He explained the song was originally sung in the context of the liberation struggle where the ANC combatants were infiltrating the country from frontline states and fighting against apartheid-era military formations. We sang the song because we were fighting the commandos when we were infiltrating the country from the poor. When we infiltrated the country from the poor. You infiltrated the country from the poor? What the hell does that mean? It's not even English. And you weren't fighting the commandos. You were fighting the army. See how they blame the commandos? They still got that stuck in their mind. It's amazing how, a handful of Boers with a rifle and powder and some biltong on a pony can terrify the ANC. Yes, he's trying to provoke the U.S. Biggest gold heist, all of South Africa's gold reserves. It sounds like the oil reserves, the oil gate scandal, which everyone's forgotten about. No, Trump can't run again here. He's constitutionally limited. Well, folks, here's the big news. I did a short on this last night before I went to bed. I've been trying to do a video on it, but I hadn't got around to it. Daniel Prinsley just came with a massive 350 Rand super chat. Thank you for that, Daniel. Appreciate it. He basically said it's not a liberation song. Exactly. Why I don't order yarn from the US or UK, apart from paying an exuberant amount for shipping, customs demands payment as well. On top of that, veterinary feed, inspect. Exactly. It's all ridiculous. And that's intentional. That's all intentional, Ingrid. That's why they do that. So that you're forced to buy lower quality, expensive South African yarn. Yep. I'm not taking you on, but can you explain the poultry issue the USA export to South Africa? And then our farmers do not get these products sold. I don't know what you mean, your farmers do not get their products sold. Well, that's the problem, Lawrence. The South Africans complaining about fair trade, but they don't practice fair trade. They put a 75% tariff on our poultry. It was a punitive one because they lied. The ANC lied and said the U.S. was dumping chicken in South Africa. We weren't dumping chicken in South Africa. We were shipping chicken that Americans don't eat. We don't eat feet. Some black folks do in America who still have their close ties to Gullah and Africa that's pervaded for centuries, but we don't eat feet. It's disgusting. Africans eat chicken feet. Many of them do. I've seen it. It's gross. It's disgusting. Anyway, and the chicken livers, not a big market for that in America. Some people eat it. So we shipped poultry to South Africa, which otherwise would have been ground up for feed, which is not what you should be doing with it, or fertilizer. And because there was a market in South Africa. And we have larger poultry operations that even with the distance traveled and the cost of refrigeration and everything involved, it's still cheaper, higher quality, and a better deal for consumers. South Africans can't keep up with that. They don't have the scale. And the ANC lied and said that we were dumping the poultry. They weren't dumping the poultry there. We found a market that was interested in something we had. And so they imposed a 75% tariff on our poultry. That was during Obama. That's when that happened. Does that answer your question, Lawrence? And I didn't think you were taking me on. It's a fair question. If you answer, no problem. But I just wanted to know if you had received any emails from me after the 20th of July. I don't know, Ludwig, and I don't know if we'll be coming to you under that name, Ludwig, or under something else. So I don't know. I'm in the process of going through hundreds of thousands of email. I had 419,000 emails in my main email account. Almost 1,000 of them are from people sending me questions about the refugee, most of which I've never even seen because it's buried amongst everything else. I've been in the process since Friday of eliminating those emails. I'm down to 260-some thousand. What is it now? 265? 265,000 emails now. I've still got a ways to go. Yeah, lots to delete here, folks. Lots to delete here. So, yeah. Anyway, so it takes time to get through this stuff. So just letting you know that I don't know. And as a consequence, I've not, until last night, I hadn't looked at email since Thursday, I think. Last night I looked at email to try to answer some questions from people who've been sending me messages in the All About Africa email account. So I'm just scrolling through the messages I didn't delete, and I'm in the A's now because I'm sorting it by sender. There's Avis. I got to save some of those. I got to delete some of those. There's Bantu Holomisa. Okay. So I'm still in the B's now. I haven't even got to where I left off at. So, okay, that's where I'm going to left off at. There we go. Okay, so, yep. And then I just go through and I look. Delete. Gone. I missed some here. Look at that. I've already been past this spot. I've been past these B's here. So somehow I wound up missing some when I went through this. I was in the C's. That's right. C's. Okay, here's one. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, so all right, I'm done with that. Just wanted to show you that real quick. So, yeah. Maybe next song, Release Your Member. Nah, that one's going to get me in trouble, so. Those who are leaving when you play songs must be trolls. I don't know about that. Some people just want to hear the news. Just saw a comment on a video referring to Mabalula made me giggle. Watch the whole speech he was trying to provoke. Yep. Colonel, just send you an email about the biggest gold heist. I already got that. There's Daniel Prinsley super chat. Francois Duploy. But there are much worse things against white people since Trump meeting. Okay. Take a look at what they did, South Africa, old task force. Okay. Finally received a renewal today for your firearm license renewal. 5th of January. It took 8 months. Wow. Truth is, Chris, that local industry, along with government, have been ripping illegals off for many years. Yeah, I know. I know. Benjamin Labaskakny, I know. Chicken feet are super gross. And imported poultry is better quality. That's another reason why people bought it. I feel as whites, we have the right to have our own struggle song. Chicken liver is fantastic. Well, I'm glad you enjoy them, Ronald. I won't eat them. Yes, you're importing chicken from Brazil. I don't know that it's not fit for human consumption, but you're importing it because of the sanctions they put against U.S. Poultry. Chris won't get through the news. No, I'm getting through the news, Marie Biscuit. I said I don't have a lot of news stories today. Goodyear is closing down on Friday. My son-in-law have all the paperwork already. 900 people lost a job in Newton Hague. Wow. Johan, and that's because we're not buying the cars from South Africa. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't hear about the Goodyear thing. $1 an email. You're rocking it. That's a crap load of efforts. Huh? No idea what that's about. Don't mean to be rude when leaving after the news. Just got things to do. No, I got you, James. That's what I said. People want to hear the news. So a lot of people leave when the music starts playing. Don't want you to answer back. I just sent info if you want to use it. Thank you, Darlene. Appreciate that. Pig Daddy. All right, so here's what we want to talk about here now, folks. Stick around. How many people we got? We still got a large audience because this is the real story that we need to talk about tonight in South Africa. I'm not even talking about America yet because I like to talk about America on my program. Anyway, so we have 854 people currently here. That's excellent. 715 likes. Can you hit the like button, folks? Give me some more likes up there. This is the story. The MK wants to amend the Constitution to change Section 25. And they fraudulently claim that it is a apartheid-era law. It's not. This Constitution isn't from apartheid. This Constitution was drafted by a majority black government after 1994, in 1995, and implemented in 1996. Black folks came up with this, and they want to blame it on apartheid, which is nonsense, because the MK is just a bunch of frauds. MK parties propose a draft bill to put all South African land under state custodianship. It's not land, it's property, removing private land ownership and compensation for expropriated land. Under the party's scheme, traditional leaders would administer some of that land, but the bill does not explain how that would be done, because they'll never allow them to do it. 2/3 parliamentary majority is required to pass a controversial bill, but it is unlikely to succeed due to political resistance. Alleged state capture in MK party MP Mzwanele Mnyani's private members bill to amend Section 25 of the Constitution has been gazetted for public comment. So, folks, you need to go check it out. You need to go check out. This is the time not to be silent. Not that it will matter, but let's get 3 or 4 million people to say this is nonsense. You need to go and comment on this publicly. Go and comment. I don't know if DRSA or whoever is facilitating that, but you need to go issue public comment on that. You need to do it now, because these scumbags will try to get this thing through. It says that this is the elements of the constitutional amendment. Land and natural resources in the Republic belong to the people of South Africa collectively. No, they don't. No, they don't. The custodianship of land and natural resources vests in the democratic state on behalf of the people and may be exercised where applicable in partnership with recognized traditional and Khoisan leadership structures in accordance with the Constitution and national legislation. So traditional, in other words, black, and Khoisan, brown, which means that white folks and Indians can go futsek, is what they're saying. The colonizers from the Nguni-speaking tribes are telling the European colonizers and the Indian arrivals that they can futsek. Wow. Wow. Yes, Daniel, the fact that the bill's even getting sunlight is insane. Same like expropriation on compensation. It was introduced in 2018, and I said that that made the ANC and South African ineligible for the African Growth and Opportunity Act because it does not respect private property rights. But he's wearing battle fatigues because he's a stolen valor fraud. So let's look this clown up, okay? Oh, gosh, I hate this. It doesn't let me frickin'... I hate this. This stupid News 24 doesn't let you copy text from their articles. They're a bunch of scumbags. They started it about 4 months ago. So I have to save it as a text document. I don't have time for that right now. Get this idiot's name. There he is. Zwanele Myanyi. Okay. He's 61. South African businessman, political figure, and former government spokesman. He gained attention for his leadership in the Black Management Forum, where he advocated the advancement of black professionals in South Africa's corporate sector. Served the chief executive of Government Communication Information Systems before purchasing the New Age newspaper. He's active in the ANC and later the Economic Freedom Fighters, and now he's in the MK Party. So, he has never been involved in the liberation movement. Never. Just a leech. Suckling off the government teat. Now he wants to steal people's land and their property. In mid-August 2024, he resigned from EFF and joined the Mkhonto weSizwe Party. Commonly known as Jimmy until 2015 when he began going by the name Zwanele. He decided to change the name during the Rhodes Must Fall bullshit protest in 2015. He now rejects the name wholeheartedly as a matter of decolonial principle. The only reason I was called Jimmy was for working purposes, to enable the white man to be able to call me for work. So it's no different than having a slave name. Oh, dear God. This guy's a preacher in the Bantu Church of Christ. Bantu Church of Christ. Christianity has been spread by Europeans. Isn't that a slave religion? Gosh, stupid people. Zuma had better give up his unconduct to the government. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes, this is the time to make our voices heard. Yeah, it is plain nonsense. The fact that it's been introduced is just frightening. I mean, we saw EWC introduced multiple times over 20 years and defeated every time until it wasn't. Spas and shops will be coining it, seeing they sell cheap brands of food. What is in caps? Asian Indians in America own almost no land in the USA, but are far richer than normal Americans. So land does not make you rich. No, land doesn't make you rich. Land doesn't make you rich. That's a misnomer. You don't have to have land to be rich. You just have to be hardworking, thrifty, and in an economic system that works. Thank you, Alan, for your 12 months as a member. Right. Fed up with the ANC. The ANC has decided, they're fed up with the DA. The ANC has decided they won't kick the DA out. Again, how many times do we have to say this? The ANC cannot kick the DA out of the GNU. The GNU is an agreement between the ANC and the DA. If the ANC illegitimately invited 8 other parties to muddy the waters, they had no authority to do that. The DA didn't say anything about it. They should have whined about it, but they didn't. So now they're going to expand it by illegitimately inviting the National Colored Congress and Action SA into the fold. And both those parties would be wise to stay out of this pending collapse and disaster area. Hey, look, it's Gwede and Fikile, 2 of the dumbest people in South Africa. Well, the DA is going after Minister 30%, who we've renamed Minister 5%, Angie Motshekga. I've already talked about Maersk. Blatant lack of oversight. The DA has written to the National Assembly House Chairperson Cedric Froelich to force greater accountability from Defense Minister Angie Motshekga. The DA has also accused the Joint Standing Committee on Defense Chairperson Gigaba of shielding Motshekga. DA leaders claim that $813 million in deployment allowances meant for troops was unaccounted for. So the troops didn't get 813 million rand? Where'd that money go? Where'd that money go? Should I get Bantu Holomisa to answer that question? Wonder if he knows about it. Jan Kronia gave 70 rand. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. What did Urban Homes do? Was that memberships? Thank you for the 140 rand. Urban Homes, I missed that one. Thank you for that super chat. This was also crazy on News 24, degrading podcasters under fire. I'm getting to that, Alan. I'm getting to it. Oh, yes, Rex. Owning a home is very expensive. You borrow the money, And then you pay 3 times the price for it by the time you pay it off 30 years later. Yep. Trust me, I know. I know. It's taken me a long time to get rid of 1/3 of the principal on my loan. Only by making massive overpayments for the past few years have I been able to get it down to a reasonable level. Yep. How can things get better in this country? Well, remove this corrupt government. That's a start. Okay, the topic that was just brought up by Alan is what I'm about to talk about now. Calls for cancellation grow over controversial colored comments and open chats podcast. Now, they claim that this is a new channel, but it's not. It's been around for 5 years. But they got that a long time ago, 100,000 subscribers. That's bigger than mine. That's the full-size one. The newly launched Open Chats podcast faces fierce backlash and growing calls for cancellation after a controversial clip surfaced from its premiere episode. It's been around for 5 years, so it only recently put a premiere episode up. I watched it. It's not entertaining. It's ridiculous. A bunch of idiots talking. Many have labeled offensive towards the color community. Among those who condemned the remarks was PA leader Gate McKenzie. Well, the DA is actually going after them, but they don't mention that. They issued a statement. We acknowledge the hurt caused by the clip that continues to circulate online and communicate our genuine regret for that. The intention was never to cause harm or disrespect the colored community. Open Chats is a platform centered on open conversations which at times touch on sensitive topics. We should conduct our conversations in a respectful manner. But it isn't working. The apology isn't working. The team also noted the clip has been removed from the episode and follow-up discussions addressing the matter will feature in an upcoming episode. We thank those who take the time to reach out and hold us accountable. We listen and we're learning. Despite the apology, social media remains ablaze with criticism, with many users and community members calling for the podcast to be taken down. No legal proceedings have been issued from the PA. So here's my question. Where is the South African Human Rights Commission? Where is the South African Human Rights Commission on this? By the way, where is the punishment for Nobbs and Kesey? Her racist comments against colored flight attendants on a FlySAF Air flight in December. 8 months ago. 3 seconds after the fraudulent effort to destroy Ronaldo Kho's, the South African Human Rights Commission was on the scene. And they had no case. There's a case here. Okay, Straka, don't say mass shooting unless you have information. There's an active shooter. There's a different situation here. Unless you've got a report that's come in the last 30 minutes, there is no mass shooting. There's an active shooter. That's a different situation. It may be a mass shooting now, but that wasn't available last time I checked. Let me go see if we get more news on that. What's going on? I don't know. Probably some freaking, terrorist who infiltrated the army because, we're all about diversity. Remember the Fort Hood shooter? Freaking Islamist who murdered all the soldiers at Fort Hood? And it was called a workplace incident by the Obama regime? Total nonsense. Where is it? An active shooter. Let me see if this has been updated now. There's been no update. No mass shooting, no report. There might wind up being a mass shooting, but it's an active shooter. That's a different situation. Let's use correct language here. Yeah, nothing happened about her errant behavior. Vera, it's not apartheid in reverse. It's racial discrimination is what it is. Apartheid was separate development. This is racial discrimination. Senior U.S. advisor. This morning I had a productive call with South African Foreign Minister Mabalula. I engaged in issues of mutual interest and highlighted his significant role. Where are you finding that at? Okay, that's where it's at U.S. for Africa. Okay, let me see that. Let me try that. Thank you for that. Let me look on that. At U.S. Senior Advisor for Africa. Okay, that's that young guy. Oh, that's not him. That's the other guy. That's what's his name. Okay. Nigeria. Guinea. Here it is. Well, that doesn't say anything about trade. That says he had a productive call talking about SADC and promoting stability in the DRC. So I'm not really sure. Okay. Oh, okay. All right, so I'm asking him, did you... Okay, and did you discuss the absence of a South African ambassador to Washington, the lack of a trade delegation, Pretoria's racist policies? Ronnie Lamola is not SADC. He's not. So I've responded to that. Thank you. Google does troll. What did Google say? You can email that to me. It's fine. Yeah, if they take your land, just use the PI Act and claim land from other people. Exactly, Blixum. I've said all along, expropriation without compensation is not about land, it's about property. Problem is ANC. What's this? Okay. This is going to be a real shock when DA loses the votes. Yeah, they're going to. They think the blue machine is going to save them. There is no blue machine. It's ridiculous. All right, let me get back to the story. I've got what the DA's response on this is. So we saw what the Times Live says, and they don't talk about the actual. They say Gate McKenzie, but there's no news story on Gate McKenzie. The DA is actually taking action on this. The Democratic Alliance to report offensive podcast to Human Rights Commission. A little bit late. This thing was aired some time ago. Democratic Alliance is appalled by the deeply offensive and race-baiting content of the Open Chats podcast that went viral on TikTok. In this episode, the host engaged in despicable stereotyping of colored people, including an abhorrent discussion questioning whether colored people engage in sexual activity with their siblings and describing colored people as crazy. This isn't humor. It's not harmless pop culture commentary. It's assault on the dignity of a community and an attempt to reduce the lived realities of South Africans into cheap, demeaning stereotypes for the sake of online clicks. Such content fans the flames of division and undermines constitutional values of equality. DA's report this matter to South African Human Rights Commission. Hate speech is not acceptable. We note the podcaster has since apologized, an implicit admission of guilt, but an apology alone does not erase the harm caused. Yep. This is what I have to say about it. I've not seen the episode. I've read what people said about it. And if what they say is true, that these people said these things, then it's abhorrent. And there should be consequences for it, not simply an apology. You don't get to, well, apparently you do. We saw someone else say racist things, calling white people Neanderthals and genetically inferior. Remember that? And nothing happened to him. Nothing happened to him. So this is abhorrent behavior. Abhorrent behavior by people who think it's funny to share racial stereotypes and tropes. It's not acceptable. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. Simple as that, folks. And they're going after, demonically after South Africans who served in the IDF. I've told you, you cannot owe fealty to two countries. South Africans who went and served in the IDF are now going to be prosecuted. They've never dropped this case. They're going after Jews for serving in the Israeli Defense Force. And there's target number one right there, Aaron Bahak, claiming you have to have authorization from the Foreign Military Assistance Act. Like they're going to give you approval to go do that. Anyway. Trump says he's doubling tariffs on India, and that's what the comment was earlier from someone of Indian heritage. President Trump announced plans to double tariffs on imports from India to 50% as punishment for its continued purchase of oil from Russia. It will take effect later this month. Apple will announce a $100 billion manufacturing effort in the United States. And the Grand Canyon is still on fire, folks. The Dragon Bravo fire has been burning for more than a month. 126,000 acres of land. There's almost nothing at the Grand Canyon. No vegetation yet. That fire is burning. Low humidity has hampered containment. And that's going to do it for that stuff. 800. So let's go ahead and give you a song before we wind up going over to Ronaldo, because I know people want a song. I promised I'd do that. All right, so what do we want to get here? We got Palo Palo Nights. We did that when we opened up. We've got Email Avalanche, our Saffers, Sydney's Jeans. Yeah, that one's a good one. Let's do Sydney's Jeans. That's kind of an upbeat one, okay? Sydney's Jeans, okay? We'll do the country one, okay? Oh, that's our Saffers, excuse me. Here's Sydney's Jeans. Except it's not. Ugh, this stupid website. It doesn't play sometimes. You gotta go reload it. Did it again. I'm gonna have to open up a new tab. And then we'll be over with Ronaldo at the top of the hour, okay? Thank you for being here, folks. Be sure to hit the like button before you go. Or you know what? Let's not do Sydney Jeans. Let's do Alabama Heat, okay? We'll do Alabama Heat. People love that one. I'll do the first version or the second version, okay? Thanks for your patronage. Be sure to hit the like button. Get us to 1,000. I appreciate people being here. God bless and have a lovely day. Be safe out there. To all the hate wankers, black supremacists, white racists,
Alabama heat melts the road to gold. New faces arrive with stories untold.
The air is thick, but the dreams are wide.
South African hearts crossing the tide. Safe in liberty's embrace, where the stars and stripes find space. Sweat rolls down, but the hope runs deep. Alabama heat. Alabama heat.
They carry talent in battered bags.
No corruption here to plant new flags.
From the ashes of crime they rise, with courage burning brighter than skies.
The past may haunt, but the future sings. Freedom hums on broken wings. Safe in liberty's embrace, where the stars and stripes find space. Sweat rolls down, but the hope runs deep. Alabama heat. Alabama heat.
Humidity hugs like an old ghost, but here they stand, a living toast to freedom's soul.